Good evening from the Summer Park, New Mexico in the gym. This is the 343 commitment and still counting. 110 floors in honor and memory of our brother, firefighter Kevin Reilly from Engine 207. Our brother was assigned to the Tillary Street Tigers. They're in Brooklyn with Ladder 110 and Battalion 31. He was actually on a side assignment on a rotation because his original assignment was going to be Ladder 40 or 40 truck, and that was in Harlem. Life begins at 40 truck, and I believe the other unit was Engine 37. Hope I got that right. Everything is by memory. So this climb is dedicated to his mother, Joan, his father, George, a retired lieutenant with the FDNY, who Kevin actually followed into the service in 2000, and his wife, Jennifer. This climb is yours. 110 floors with honor and respect given for the sacrifices that were made so that others could live. So we have a total of 7 verticals. Once we reach the 7th vertical, it goes down to the 101st floor. And it's only a few floors from that, and we will be at the very top for another brother, Kevin Reilly, firefighter with Engine 207. Our brother had 19 months on the job. Got his start in January of 2000 when he was appointed to the FDNY. So this climb is for our brother who was 28 years old on 9/11. It said that our brother packed a century of life into just 28 years. He was a Yankees, a New York Yankees fan, athletic. He actually was a black belt in Taekwondo when he was younger. And our brother finished the New York City Marathon in 4 hours and 17 minutes. Additionally to that, he hiked across Europe, backpacked it all by himself. He will never be forgotten. Our brother attended SUNY in Oneonta, and he became the president of Phi Kappa Sigma, which his fraternity brothers ended up nicknaming him Radar from the show MASH. His sacrifice will never be forgotten. As I said before, he was on rotation on Engine 207 when his original assignment was his father's house. George, retired lieutenant with the FDNY, turned out that our brother actually worked with people that his dad worked with. At the time, it said that he had that 40 truck, where life begins at 40 truck, there in Harlem. You can see pictures of Kevin Reilly with his father at the house. This 110 floors is given for the sacrifice made so that others could live, the bravery, the valor, and the heroism that was shown by 343 within the original rescue effort, and those that followed in the Enso County, those that worked the pile at ground zero for days, weeks, and months until the operation was declared complete. They will never be forgotten. They will always be remembered. It said that Kevin told his wife Jennifer three things. So he was going to be a firefighter, she was going to be a teacher, and they were going to get married. All three of those things occurred prior to 9/11. She's actually a teacher. Our brother was FDNY, and they actually honeymooned in Bermuda prior to going back to Manhattan, where they had an apartment. Taking them up, one step at a time, one floor at a time. Another brother headed to the top to take his 110th floor, climb all the way up. This is now the 280th time I've gone vertical, and 63 brothers are left to take that journey. This is a 343 commitment, and still counting. 110 floors for firefighter Kevin Reilly, a 19-month firefighter with a truck, 40 truck, and engine 207. So he was actually at Harlem first, and on rotation to the Tillary Street Tigers there in Brooklyn, Houseville, Ladder 110, and Battalion 31. Another brother going vertical. Always remembered and never forgotten. This is why we climb. To remember their sacrifices. So going on 20 years later, we are not remembering them as just a name or a picture on a wall. Our brothers' stories and legacies will be carried forward. This is why we climb. On 9/11, found out that Jennifer's father was also a lieutenant on the FDNY, and both George, a retired lieutenant, Kevin Reilly's father, and Jennifer's father, went down to ground zero to look for him. I promise you, he will never be forgotten. His name, his story, his legacy will live on and on for years to come. I did see another article that Kevin Reilly has a t-shirt at the 9/11 museum, I believe is what I read, with his name on it, in his honor, and the sacrifices that were made so that others could live. Dedicated to his mother, Joan, to his father, George, who was a retired lieutenant with the FDNY, who Kevin actually went into the FDNY for his father to keep the legacy going. And right now, we're going, symbolically, going to that top of the tower, the 110th floor. All the way there, with honor and respect given for our brother, Kevin Reilly, firefighter, 28 years old at the time, 19 months on the job, got appointed January of 2000. Our brother, prior to this, went to SUNY Oneonta, and he was a hydrogeologist prior to starting work with the academy in January 2000. Our brother in Pi Kappa Sigma, he was nicknamed Radar by his fellow frat brothers. Not only that, he became the president of the fraternity. For our brother who ran the New York City Marathon in 4 minutes and 17 seconds, for our brother Kevin Reilly, who also backpacked across Europe by himself, we will always remember. We will never forget taking him up one at a time, another floor to reach the 110th. This is why we climb, pushing each and every brother to the top. But right now, Tillary Street Tigers, firefighter Kevin Reilly is making that journey. Pushing him all the way up. For his mother, Joan, father, George, extended family, and his wife, Jennifer. He will never be forgotten. This is why we climb, to keep his story alive. And right now, this is his story. Taking our brother to that 110th floor. Symbolically carrying him on my side right now, each and every step. Gonna reach the top, the 280th brother to go vertical. Counting it down with 63 brothers left to reach the very top. This is his climb. This is his legacy. This is a 343 commitment and still counting. 110th floor memorial climb for firefighter Kevin Reilly. Our brother was 28 years old. A century of life in 28 years is what his family said. Taking him up one step at a time. Marie, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much. So this is for the Tillary Street Tigers into 207s. Firefighter Kevin Reilly. Al's there in Brooklyn with Ladder 110 and Battalion 31. The Tillary Street Tigers house. And our brother right now will meet everybody who's previously gone forward in this climb series with honor and respect. Taking them up to the very top, pushing each step as another to go higher, to tell his story, to keep their legacies alive, so they will never just become a name on a plaque or a picture on a wall. Each and every one of the 343 firefighters will have their story told. Pushing them all the way. Coming up on the last 3 verticals shortly. Over the halfway mark on this 110th floor Memorial Stair Climb. Coming to you live in the gym in Sumner Park, New Mexico. Taking them up our brother, who was a hydrogeologist during college, where he went to SUNY Oneonta, to January 2000. Our brother answered the call. Got in the FDNY following his father's footsteps. George, a retired lieutenant with the FDNY, and he actually got his father's house, 40 truck, there in Harlem. I believe it's 37 engine, 40 truck. Please bear with me, it's all by memory. So, life begins at 40 truck, and our brother Kevin actually had photographs inside the kitchen, which I believe they said it was him and his father together. So right now, we're taking him up over the halfway point already on this 110 floors for firefighter Kevin Reilly. Tillary Street Tigers, Engine 207, housed with Ladder 110, Battalion 31. Taking them up, one by one, to get closer to the top. This is why we climb. Our brother was an athlete, ran the New York City Marathon in 4 hours and 17 minutes. 26.2 miles in 4 hours and 17 minutes. Our brother was known to have backpacked across Europe by himself. This is his story, his legacy. This is why we climb. Our brother played softball for the FDNY athletics. He was a black belt in Taekwondo from when he was younger. And he was very good to his family. As I said before, he got married to Jennifer, his wife. They honeymooned in Bermuda and then came back to their apartment in Manhattan. Our brother followed his father, George's footsteps into the FDNY. Going to 40 truck. They're in Harlem. Life begins at 40 truck. Before he did a rotation to Engine 207 in Brooklyn on Tillary Street, the Tillary Street Tigers. This climb is all his. This is now the first day of another 96-hour shift. First climb in. We'll see how many I get accomplished on this one. Pushing him up. Going to that second to last vertical on this 110 floor Memorial Stair Climb, which is dedicated to Joan Okay, just picked up a call. I gotta run. We're at 72 floors. So back at it for firefighter Kevin Reilly from Engine 207, the Tillary Street Tigers, housed in Brooklyn with Ladder 110 and Battalion 31. This is the last floors. I got up to 73 on the initial climb prior to taking a medical call because I'm actually on duty right now. And now it's time to finish this climb for our brother, 28 years old, with 19 months on the job with the FDNY, firefighter Kevin Reilly. who was originally assigned to 40 truck, which his life begins at 40 truck in Harlem. And I believe it was a 37 engine, or engine 37 with that one. Please, again, bear with me because it's all by memory. But again, this climb is dedicated to his mother Joan, his father George, who was a retired FDNY lieutenant, and to his wife Jennifer. One thing that he told Jennifer, when they were together since high school, they knew each other, that he would join the FDNY, she would become a teacher, and they would get married. Well, they did just that. They honeymooned in Bermuda, and prior to coming back to their apartment in Manhattan. So right now, this is the finishing of the last floors of this 110th floor Memorial Star Climb for firefighter Kevin Reilly, FDNY engine 207. As I said before, this climb is given with honor and respect for the sacrifices made so that others could live. Because of the bravery and heroism and valor that was shown, upwards of 25,000 were saved. The greatest rescue effort in U.S. history, caused by the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil. Right now, this 110 floors is going to get completed. I'm currently on a 96-hour shift. This is the first climb of this 96 hours that I'm on duty. So we'll see how many I'm able to get in on this 96-hour tour. But right now, this one is for firefighter Kevin Reilly. Engine 207, Tillary Sea Tigers, housing ladder 110, and battalion 31. My brother was very athletic. According to his mother, or his family, he had a century of life in a short 28 years. My brother completed the New York City Marathon, a 26.2 mile, very long run in 4 hours and 17 minutes. My brother also backpacked across Europe by himself. Prior to joining the FDNY, he was at college at SUNY Oneonta, and he was part of the Pi Sigma Kappa, excuse my memory, fraternity, to which his fraternity brothers actually nicknamed him Radar, as in radar from MASH. This climb is to finish his footsteps. From what I read, he was at the base of the tower, or there close to, on 9/11. So right now, for engine 207, Tillary Sea Tigers, housed at ladder 110, and battalion 31. They're out of Brooklyn. He's going vertical. For his father, George, a retired FDNY lieutenant whose son, Kevin, followed in his footsteps to the ranks of the FDNY in January of 2000. He was a hydrogeologist before that, and they made the change to the FDNY. Right now, this is the second attempt at finishing this climb, dedicated to his family, Mother Joan, Father George, wife Jennifer, his extended family, to the FDNY off and on the line. They're at Life Begins at 40 Truck in Harlem, to the Tillary Sea Tigers. Into 207, Ladder 110, and Battalion 31. And generally to our country, because we all made a promise that we would never forget. And we would always remember. And we're coming up on, it's already 19 years, coming up on that 20th anniversary this coming year that we're into right now. We will never forget. We will always remember. This is why we climb, to keep their legacies and their sacrifices. Their legacies, so people will know who our brothers were, instead of just being a picture on a wall or a name on a plaque. All the 9/11 climbs, climb for each and every one of them, all across the U.S. and part of the world. They will never be forgotten. For our brother who was 28 years old on 9/11, 19 months on the department, we will never forget. He was in the middle of a rotation, and I might have to go again. And I'll be back 27 floors in on the final. All right, before I get this stair climber going for the last 10 floors, because that's all I have left on this climb, this is the 110 floor completion, last 10 floors from 100 to 110 for our brother firefighter Kevin Reilly, engine 207, out of the Tillary Street Tigers from Brooklyn, housed with ladder 110 and battalion 31. So now the last 10 floors. Third attempt at this climb, and this is going to be extremely quick. So we're going to go there. Okay, the minimum you can do is 14, so I'll just do 14. All right, so again, for firefighter Kevin Reilly, 28 years old on 9/11. He got in January of 2000. He was on around 19 months of service to the citizens of New York. Was working his rotation on engine 207, which is the Tillary Street Tigers out of Brooklyn, and housed with ladder 110 and battalion 31. And he had, prior to this, worked at his dad's house, which is 40 truck, which is Life Begins at 40 truck in Harlem. And so his rotation, again, on 9/11 was engine 207. And so this is the last 10 floors. Attempted to get all this in, but third time's a charm, and hopefully this climb will finish on the last 10 floors. So for his mom, Joan, his father, George, who is a retired lieutenant with the FDNY, and his wife, Jennifer, your son and husband will never be forgotten. As I said before, he studied and was a hydro engineer prior to joining the FDNY, and he actually went to SUNY, S-U-N-Y, Oneonta, where he was the president of his fraternity. His brothers lovingly called him Radar, and as I said before in the previous climb, he was very athletic. Our brother ran the New York City Marathon, which is 26.2 miles, in 4 hours and 17 minutes. Additionally, he backpacked across Europe by himself. So this 110 floor completion plus 4 floors, because it won't just let me do 10 to finish off, is for our brother firefighter Kevin Reilly, FDNY. Made the ultimate sacrifice so that others could live on 9/11, 2001. He will never be forgotten. He will always be remembered. This is why we climb, to carry our brothers to the 110th floor, so their families will know that their legacies will always carry on. Going there now, finishing up these last few floors for our brother, Kevin Reilly. The last 2 floors of the 110 floors for our brother, firefighter Kevin Reilly, engine 207. Taking him up to the last peak of that 110th floor. This is the 3rd attempt now on completion of this climb. 73 initial floors, 27 floors, and the last puts it over the 110, but the last 14 floors. For our brother, Kevin Reilly, whose father, George, again was a retired lieutenant with 40 truck with the FDNY. Rest easy, brother. We got it from here.